Wagwan, mi familia. Once again, we're doing it. It's Friday, May the 16th, 2025. If you're just joining me today, welcome to the show. Buckle up, buckle down. Oh, we're gonna have some fun today, wherever you're tuning in from. Whether it's Canada, down south in the United States of the Americas, over there in South America, Mexico, over there, all the way over there in Asia, Africa, Antarctica, the Middle East, over there in Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, in Italy, south of France, over there in Ireland, over there in the Congos, over there in Nigeria, my beautiful Nigerian prince, wherever you are, and princess too. Where's the Nigerian princess? You never hear from her, but nonetheless, we're gonna have some fun. It's Friday. Let's get a sip of this coffee. Oh yeah. Oh, that's good coffee, brother. We're gonna get right into it, brother. Just need you to just buckle up, put the seatbelt around your neck, wrap it real tight like a noose, put a couple of fingers up your nose, block the airways, block your mouth, put a plug up your ass. Let's get it started. Let's rev this engine up, get it smoking, spin some wheels, burn some rubber, metal to the pedal, or pedal to the metal. Forget the sequence, to be honest with you, but doesn't matter though. We're doing it. It's Friday. Ladies and gents, one of the most important questions, and that's the thing too, we tackle everything on this little silly little whimsical little show that could, the little choo-choo train that can, with together, by the way. This is a team effort, together, doing it, but asking questions that reach all of us, that touch all of us inside. Important questions, but also like fun questions too. Like for example, how do you remove a hot light bulb? Somebody might ask that. There's novices in there's a new game for some. It's called life. As you age and things happen. Sometimes you might come across a hot light bulb that you might have to remove. Typically speaking, you'd remove it with your fingers. But what is that? That's the sound of your fingertips burning off. And I guess you could do that if you want to be committing some crimes and not leaving any fingerprints behind. But that's also debatable these days, whether or not fingerprints are actually unique, but that's aside the point. You're gonna burn your fingertips, and I want you to do that, you beautiful sons and daughters of bitches out there, because we're family at the end of the day. Family looks out for family, so I don't want you to burn your fingertips, but you must remove the hot light bulb immediately and replace it. You're like, why don't I just give it some time? Why don't you just be patient in life then? Why don't you just not have any fun then? No, fun is immediate right then. Instant gratification, meaning you remove the hot light bulb right now. But not using your fingertips, because fingertips are precious. Fingertips are not something, you don't want to just shake somebody's hand with burned fingertips. They're going to have thoughts about you. Like, oh, man, I wonder if that guy or gal is into doing crime and not leaving any evidence behind, any fingerprint evidence behind. They'll think that. Or they're going to think that you like you're trying to go vegan or vegetarian, but you still like the smell of burnt meat. So you like to burn the tip. Is that you sick? That's not you. You know better than that. Not to just... You sniffing your fingers just to get a little scent of burnt meat. Remind you of the barbecues you used to enjoy. You still enjoy barbecues. Oh, well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Excellent. So how could you remove hot light bulbs? I'll say this. There's many methods to it, of course, but we don't want to use the fingertips. I'll say that. I would recommend using any other body part is sufficient. Doing it with a partner is absolutely recommended. Doing it by yourself, I would recommend start with let's just back it up for a second. Let's just ask this question. If something is hot or on potentially burning hot, or maybe even a little bit on fire, what's the opposite of water? Or rather, what's the opposite of the heat? The water is essentially the opposite of heat. That's what I meant to say. I'm sticking with it too. Water is the exact opposite of the heat. And what part of your body is water essentially? That's right, your tongue. So go ahead and remove the light bulb by simply wrapping your tongue around the hot light bulb and make sure you get a nice grip. Because your tongue is wet, you're not gonna feel the burn as much. Again, remember, water fights heat or fire. So there you go, use your tongue. That's the best method to remove a light bulb without actually burning your sensitive fingertips. Other body parts that you could potentially use, I would say, get on your back, use the bottom of your feet, use your toes, because nobody looks at your toes. Nobody really checks your toes to see if they're burnt or not. Nobody judges you if you've got any scars on your feet. Nobody ever sees your feet. It's one of the last places people see. So go ahead, get on your back, hoist yourself up. If the light bulb is on the ceiling, hoist yourself up somehow. It doesn't matter. Use some tools around there. Use a ladder. Use a ladder. Get somebody to give you a little boost. Go on someone's back and then use your feet to unscrew the hot light bulb using your feet. Other body parts that you could, this one does require a partner. Again, this is us avoiding burning our fingertips because they're so delicate and so sensitive, and we want to preserve that. Later on, and you want to finger fuck someone? You're gonna need those beautiful fingertips. You want to finger fuck yourself? Also, you're gonna need those fingertips. So please, this one requires a partner though. If you want to try to unscrew a hot light bulb, I would recommend use it again. Another body part that is also moist and wet. Your eyeballs. Your eyeballs have moisture. So go ahead and don't blink. Have two people, have yourself and a partner, make contact with two opposing sides of the said light bulb. So now you're applying pressure with your eyes. Again, do not blink. Do not blink. Eyeball on one side, another eyeball on the other side, light bulb in the middle, and start walking counterclockwise, or lefty-loosey as they say. And that way, just squeezing, holding the light bulb together using only the pressure of your eyeballs. And that's one of the other recommended methods. You're like, what if it burns it won't though. It won't, because your eyeball's wet. And what do we say initially? That's right, water fights heat. So there you go. Use your eyeballs, and you got two, by the way. Don't be so precious with it. It's not like fingertips or anything like that. Apply a lot of pressure though, and don't apply too much though. You don't want to go ahead and break the light bulb and then you get shattered pieces of glass in your eye, and the next thing you know, you're bleeding. Next thing you know, 911 calls. Next thing you know, you're trying to call a hotline. Next thing you know, you're trying to write an email, say, oh, we got a recommendation to use our eyeballs to unscrew light bulbs, and we got shattered glass in our retina right now. Who do we call? Who do we got to complain about? That's you just fucking waiting to complain about shit, isn't it? So get off of that stuff. Apply adequate amount of pressure. If you hear a crack, back up, back up. If you hear the crack, back up. We do not take any responsibility for shattered pieces of glass in your eyeball. What we're trying to do is save you from burning sensations on the tip of your fingers. So that's another method, but you do need a partner for that. So it's best to do it with a loved one or even a stranger. What better way to make a new friend or a new bond with a stranger? Hey fella, hey lady, want to give me a hand unscrewing this light bulb by putting pressure on the light bulb using nothing but our eyes? And they'll high five you. Next thing you know, you're grabbing lunch together. Next thing you know, you're going for strolls together. Friends for life. That's right, ladies and gents. Another method, of course, you could use to unscrew a hot light bulb and avoid getting those irritating burns on the tip of your fingers. This is much easier for the ladies. I know fellas happen to be, there when you need us to open jars of pickles or mayonnaise or whatever, canned goods and whatnot. That's what men are good for, and other stuff too. But ladies do have an advantage when it comes to light bulbs because of the anatomy. That's just nature. That's just God. Whatever you want to believe in. That's just biology. That's just science. The way it works. I'm not gonna go into explaining as to why women have vaginas, because who knows? But they do. And that's a large enough orifice for them to actually get on their back somehow. And this is of course, if the light bulb is on the ceiling, sometimes you're gonna have to hoist them up and lift them up and have them grab. Once again, the vagina is often wet. It's just, secretion after secretion. It is moist down there, so they won't feel anything. A hot light bulb could be easily removed if a lady were to just pop her puss on top of the hot light bulb and start moving in a counterclockwise direction, and 2, 5, 6, 7 spins, you should have that light bulb lodged into your vagina, and that pop it right out, dispose of it safely, of course. But that's one of the best ways to go ahead and remove the light bulb, again, without getting those burning, because that when it burns on the tip of your finger, you're going to be just uncomfortable for many a day. So use the wet spots on your body. Again, the vagina is probably one of the best methods. If you got a little lamp, if you got a reading lamp that the light bulb just went out but it's hot, I wonder how I'm going to get it out again. If you're a lady, right there. Vagina on top of light bulb. Do not squeeze too hard. Once again, do not squeeze too. I know you want to, you've been doing your Kegel exercise, or you're like, oh, I can grip a cock really hard. Well, sometimes less is more. I get it. You're like, I can crush this light bulb with my vag. I'm a full-blown Kegel, worker outer. And and we're appreciative of that, because we like that sensation when you squeeze the old cock with the old puss. It's nice. But do not squeeze the light bulb, because that way you might end up getting shattered glass in your vagina. And once again, just like the people that might complain about shattered glass in their eyeball, I don't want to hear from you. You did it wrong. Millions of people around the world have saved their fingertips using nothing but their vagina. Do not be that one rotten apple that's going to try to ruin it for everybody else, all right? And of course, lastly, I would like to say, just because the females are gifted with a vagina and it's, again, adequate enough to fit a light bulb inside, and who knows why the vagina is the size that it is, but it is perfectly suited to grab a light bulb and just suck it right in. I think originally vaginas were probably designed to have light bulbs fit inside of them. I would assume that's the intended manufacturing process that probably went into like, what could we do with this vagina? That's what they probably initially thought, great for having light bulbs inside. Sure, birthing too, of course, that's like, now it's become the main reason why females have vaginas, but initially I believe it was manufactured to be able to unscrew the old light bulbs. Having said that, this should not make the men afraid of handling light bulbs. Men too have, of course, bodily orifices. I would say, use a little bit of lube perhaps, but on your butt. I'm saying, ladies, you've got the advantage here, but fellas, I'm also letting you know you too can do this. Simply lube up your butt and get on your back, or have that little reading lamp kind of cradle it and just shove it up, light bulb first, up your ass, and then again, twist in a lefty-loosey motion until the hot light bulb is removed from the lamp. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's plenty of ways. Of course, there are many other ways. I'm sure you can just stand and kind of stare at it and make it kind of, if you can just dedicate your time, and if you can focus your entire life on it, I'm pretty sure you can just somehow maybe unscrew with your mind. Who knows? Nonetheless, you could do, if you like, you could do roundhouse kicks just with your, but you got to be very precise. Every time you kick, you got to just kind of not shatter the glass, not shatter the light bulb, but rather just give it one turn with each roundhouse kick. And that's a way that you could get minimal amounts of burns on any part of your body, but the asshole should also be sufficing in terms of providing you with enough, grip, but also rotational power and agility. And you want that in life. Rotational power and agility, that's one of the top 5 things that you want in life. So keep these methods in mind. Of course, if you have any other methods that you've come up with in terms of unscrewing a hot light bulb, please leave a comment. This is a team effort. We'd like to hear from you. Of course, don't go out there showboating, because I think I just pretty much provided a good enough amount of methods of removing hot light bulbs. But if you can come up with maybe a few more, it'd be good. Don't come up with another 20 and make me look like, but if you got a couple of extra ones in there, throw them in there. And also leave other methods to be discovered by others. Don't just be like, oh, I got all the methods. So leave some for others. But those are some that I thought about. And this is, again, us working together as a team. So you're welcome, but also don't even mention it. It's just whatever. I just feel like doing these things because it's good to be of service. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday after all. Vomiting. Why do men and women find vomiting so attractive? Why is vomiting a big turn on? I'll say this, maybe it's the whole, it probably goes back to the dawn of man or humanity. First of all, ingesting food is a sign that you've got life inside you. You are, this guy or this lady can, maintain himself or herself, but also good for the future generations. If you're feeding yourself, it's a good sign. If you're throwing up now, I would assume it's a turn on, because it's probably subconsciously triggering a message in your head saying this person's got a lot to eat, but also can throw it down. And look at this. essentially digested food. If food is thrown up, I guess it's a turn on because people recognize other people who can digest properly. If it's, because that's the thing, if somebody threw up and it was just like if you ate a whole chicken leg, if you ate a drumstick, or maybe you downed the whole chicken, you got that rotisserie chicken and you just opened your big gaping hole of a mouth and then just shoved it all down with, you engulfed it like a snake, just one bite. You dislocated your lower jaw and just shoved that chicken right down your throat. And if it came out without having been digested, if 2-3 hours goes by, you throw up and the whole chicken comes out because you vomited, that's a little bit alarming. That's something I don't want to be a part of. That's a person that I can't fully, So, but if I do see, pure vomit and it's just like, what is that? That's a good sign of a human being right there. So vomiting could be a turn on in terms of just letting others know that you got good digestion, which is, again, probably one of the underrated, traits of humans that it's not appreciated enough, but that's what it is. If somebody vomits properly, it's beautiful. Also, it's good to see people. A lot of people don't vomit on a regular, but when you do see it, the scent is awful, but at the same rate, because it's so awful, it reminds you of the things that do smell really good, which in hindsight makes the whole vomiting experience, once again, a turn on. So it does make sense that people get reminded of other things that smell really good. You're like, oh, a lady with a nice perfume, that smells really good. I really appreciate that. You wouldn't have appreciated it if you've not had vomit in front of you just right now. So these are some of the ways that I think, or some of the reasons rather, why I think people out there like yourselves find vomiting attractive. There's probably a little bit of the old body just gyrating a little bit, just shaking. The sweats, if anybody is sweating, is often deemed hot, or it's a turn on. So vomiting sometimes does induce sweating, little beads on your forehead. So I suppose, because you hear that about women when they're about to give birth, close to birth, they get that, they get that glow on them. Vomiting, same glow without the whole, baby hoopla and the whole get me pregnant fiasco. So vomiting is, if you're like, how do I impress a few people? Just, down whatever amounts of food you like, but also immediately after throw up right in front of them. Projectile vomit. And I'm telling you right now, if you're out there, doesn't matter what age you are, you're like, I want to make new friends. I want to meet new people. I want to just fucking shake hands. I want to just make deals, and I want to just get into the hustle and bustle. I don't want to be in the mix of it all. Nothing brings you closer to people like vomiting. I'm telling you right now, do it wherever you like, whether it's at home with your loved ones. It's something that just brings everybody close. All of a sudden you'll throw up and you'll see people gathering around you. Oh, how can we, they might pretend with their faces that they're not into it, but they're totally into it. They might even join in. They might low-key even join in. And that, if you can get a few of you to throw up together, 2-3 times a week, just over a little coffee, a little croissant here and there. It doesn't matter what it is. As long as you throw up together, that's one of the best ways to bond with people and also let others know that, hey, we're living life to the fullest. And here's a way to show it, to just right there, just projectile vomit for 5 minutes into each other's mouths. Of course, that's one of the extra ways of going above and beyond, of showing how much you care about the other people in your life. And that in of itself is a big turn on. People do get attracted to that. So please don't limit yourself. You're like, how do I induce vomiting? Putting a couple of fingers down the old throat always helps. If you like, ingesting large quantities of alcohol is never, it doesn't work all the time if you drink on a regular basis. But if I'm just telling you, if you've not had a drink in some time, down half a bottle of whatever, vodka or whiskey, whatever you like, or rum. And then I'm telling you, if you are not using, you might end up throwing up a lot, which is nice. Again, beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's a turn on. People love it, they clap for it, they'll come hold your hair back. And how many other times have people held your hair back? Not too many times, right? But when do they care? When you do induce vomiting. So please go ahead and use that turn on, whether you're on a date or with your loved ones. Even if you've been together for many years, nothing is a bigger turn on than you're looking at your beautiful partner's face. You've been with them for 10, 20 years, 25, 30 years. You've been with them 40 years. Every time, things, you've had your ups and downs, but every time you open your big gaping hole and just vomit comes out, they look at you and say, oh, that person is the person for me. Gosh, this is a turn on. I'm so turned on right now. And that's the power of vomiting. So please, it's a tool that everybody has. And if you don't use it, you will lose it. So please go ahead and induce vomiting right now. I don't want you to pause this show, of course. I don't want this to be some sort of this, the show must go on. So I don't want you to stop at any point, but nonetheless, you could vomit as you watch the show, as you're eating dinner, as you're making love, and you've got the video on the background. Do it. You'll thank me later, but I don't want you, that's okay. You don't need to. Again, once again, this is just out of pure love and being of service. So please, it's good to hear certain things. All of us need to hear certain things every once in a while. It's good to remind each other that our capabilities, we are far more capable than we are led to believe. So to reach in there, deep down in there, wiggle, and just projectile and really have a go at it. Treat yourself for once, please. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot is happening in and around the world. I believe there is an uptick. Of course, we're going to be seeing more of this. Digital versus analog thievery. What am I talking about? What am I not talking about? What are we talking about? Digital versus analog thievery. In the new age, back in the day, people, if you wanted to rob somebody of money, you had to do it in person, which was analog. You had to either, go hop on a train and put a bandana over your face, or wear some beautiful cowboy hats and some beautiful cowboy shoes and some pants and then some chaps over them, or no pants, just chaps, or just boots and a hat and maybe like underwear, or maybe boots, hat, no underwear, and just a gun holster. And you go there and you'd communicate with other people. Put your hands up in the air. This is gonna be a robbery. And the choo-choo train is going fast, and maybe you got partners, and the driver of the train is being held up as well, and they're saying, go faster, and don't think about turning this train right back around to where it came from. Keep going faster. We're robbing this. And he's scared shitless. The conductor's scared shitless. So he's pissing and shitting himself. But that doesn't matter. The most important thing here is that it was analog. It was person to person, face to face. It was intimate. And you'd have thieves, you have bandits go up to individuals and see a lady with firm giant tits, and she's wealthy, and she's got jewelry all over her neck. She's got jewelry all over her fingers, and they point a nice revolver to her tits and say, hey lady, it's a stick up. And she'd be like, oh my. And between her tits with the giant cleavage, this beautiful cleavage lady, right? Hanging necklace, a puppy comes out. A puppy between the tits, pistol, revolver to the tits, put all your tits in the hat. And they get sidetracked because the tits are in their face. Oh, I meant to say, put your jewelry, keep your tits where they are so I can see them, but put the jewelry in the hat. And they lower their beautiful cowboy hat, and the lady would wiggle her tits, and more jewelry would just pop from in between the cleavage. And she'd have bracelets on, and then they go to a guy who's got like a little pocket watch that's made of gold that his grandpappy handed down to him. He's give me your pocket, watch pocket, and maybe just a little knock right over the old head, no, over the temple with the old gun handle, the pistol whip, just a little bit for it, again, because it's analog, it's more intimate, and there's effort into it. The whole getting a gang together to rob a train, hopping on a train, getting on a train. Do you buy the tickets? Do you wait for the bridge to come out from underneath the bridge and then jump on top of the bridge, aka the old surprise, guess who's on top of the rooftop of this train? Where's train spotting right now? That's right there. So how do you get so much thought and effort went into it? And it was personable. It was in person, touch, tangible, feel. You saw humans. You saw bandits with eyes, little scruffy beards. A younger fellow who just joined the gang. He's nervous a little because he's just recently, he's got to prove himself. The elders in the gang, and then you got all the people on the train. It's beautiful. And that's just one instance. That's just on a train. Other times you have to go to a bank. Walk in there. Maybe to look at the bank for scout the old area. How many people make deposits in this bank? How much money does this bank have on a regular basis in its vault? How thick are the walls? Do we need horses? Do we need Do we need to get cars? Do we need motorcycles? Do we need how many guns do we need? How much ammunition do we? All this thought again, and going in there, shooting, copping right there up into the ceiling of the bank. A little bit of ceiling plummets to the floor of the bank, and maybe it hits a couple of people in the head. And like, oh, I got dust in my eye, dust in my eye, dust in my eye, I'm melting. And somebody had to just right there pop a couple at their feet and be like, calm down, relax, and no one will get hurt. And that's right, somebody else will be talking to the teller. If you press a button, Mr. Teller, there's going to be a lot more trouble than is to be expected. So don't press any button, and telling the cops that we're here. We're just going to rob them. We don't know when he's going to get hurt if we just get the money. Right there in the ceiling, and again, making eye contact. There's a beautiful lady who just got hired at the bank. Beautiful set of tits. Nice pearl necklace. Hat in hand. Put your pearl necklace in this hat, lady. Nice tits, by the way. And maybe motorboat the tits just for safety, and just reassuring her that everything's gonna be okay. Right there, right in the middle of the tits. And again, that was personal. That was beautiful. As much as it might have hurt in the moment, everybody went home safely. At the end of the day, most of the time, some people I'm sure got hurt, but that's beautiful because they got to do that in person. Megan, remember when people went home and had that beautiful chat with their loved ones? I can't believe I got robbed at the bank today. These handsome group of bandits came in and robbed this bank, and we were there just helpless, tits, fucking out there, and they just robbed us. And it sucked. It sucked absolutely, because it does suck for people who do get robbed. But nonetheless, it'd be a memory, it'd be a story that they could pass down, and they live to tell the tale to their grandchildren and say, hey, anything can happen to you. You might even get robbed in a bank one day, little Johnny. But guess what? Through perseverance and hard work, you can grow up and have your own family, and tell them all about your experiences and your adventures and how you escaped death, essentially. And they'll be like, oh my God, Grandpa's a badass. But you got to do that because it was in person. That was analog. That was beautiful. You could touch people. You could sense there's a heart inside another person, and you touched, or you made eye contact, or you shit yourself maybe a little bit. Maybe they too shit themselves. A lot of people think the shitting is actually only for the victims who are in the bank or the train or wherever they may be. It's the people who it's not easy robbing. You might get nervous if it's your first, second, third, you might shit yourself. And that's just adrenaline and whatever. Now you got to go, and you can't stop in the middle of thievery and robbing people. You can't just be like, I gotta go home and change. Gotta get a new, and that's not gonna work. But that was beautiful. It was done in person. There was something to it. Nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, I believe thievery and robberies and banditries are gone online. I have heard, just like many of you might have heard, that one of the what do you call them? The cryptocurrency exchange platforms, one of the biggest ones that's in operation right now, Coinbase, which I believe is about to go public. It's about to go on the S&P 500. So the crypto is becoming more and more a thing, and people, I believe, are going out there trying to hack their way into wealth, and that's just everything's got its pros and cons. Because now it's like, apparently they recently tried to hack Coinbase, and it cost them somewhere around $400 million. I'm not sure if it was money stolen or damages done due to hacking and stealing people's information. Nonetheless, the damages are reportedly going to cost Coinbase roughly $400 million. And that's the thing. There's no, you don't see people now. You don't see the thief. It could be anywhere. It could be hiding behind anonymity, and that's, a little bandana over the face. That was a little bit of anonymity, but it's behind a computer, and it could be from anywhere in the world. It could be from anywhere in the world. They could contact people who are in a company, maybe give them money, give them a little taste of here. Wet your beak a little bit. Get a little taste of this cheese. Have a little thin slice of the pie. The pie is huge. We're going to steal a lot, but we just need your help to get in there and get access to some information, names, date of births, passwords, who knows? The next thing you know, your digital currency, your money that's on the onlines, no longer cassiola, is fucking being taken away in front of your eyes, or rather, it's not in front of your eyes, like it's on the screen, on the computer, and the next thing you look at it and it says like a couple of million in the bank account, nice, everything's looking nice. gonna do a lot of investment in the business and grow things and take a vacation sometime. Who knows? The next thing you know, you look at it and it says zero, zilch, a big old goose egg. What happened to my monies? That's digital thievery right now, which is what we're fighting, I believe, and we're going to be seeing more of that as we do become more digital in terms of currency. Who knows? Who knows? Stick with the cash. Cash is safe, at least in a sense, because you need people to come up in your mug and try to rob you at point blank. But this is online, which makes it much more difficult, because they could be anywhere in the world. They could be all the way over there in Europe. They could be in Asia, could be in Africa, could be anywhere, and you have nothing to touch, nothing to be like, oh, this, and you don't even get to see their beautiful faces, because again, it could be an all-female gang who is extremely hot, but you've been robbed of the experience of getting robbed by an extremely hot female gang of thieves. But this is the downfall, or rather the downside of digital thievery. So just raising awareness. How could you fight against it? But just watching your online wallet like a hawk and putting. I don't know, to be honest with you. How do you fight hackers? They're so good. God, I wish I had some hacking skills. Zero hacking skills. 35 years on this earth, zero hacking skills. I would like some hacking skills. But nonetheless, I don't have them, and I'm too lazy to learn hacking skills at this point, unless it could be taught really easily. But nonetheless, not looking into it. But there are people who are heavily invested in it. How could you protect yourself? Oh, if you've got digital currency, get some digital goons, which I don't know. Put little tiny people in the computers to watch over your monies with little machine guns. Or get like digital dogs. We're gonna have to protect ourselves on the online. I don't know how yet. I don't even have any crypto. Like low key I do, but mine is not like one of the popular ones that did well. Mine is one of the, but who knows? Mine might be one of the ones that's not doing well right now, but in the future, if it just 1000x's, your boy's gonna be, fucking doing shit. But who knows? We'll see. Let's make all the cryptos do really well, and let us all become millionaires overnight. And instead of having to resort to, I guess, online digital thievery, you could just buy $100 or whatever shitcoin and then just wait a couple of years. I see the zeros disappear. How does it even work? It's made of nothing. But nonetheless, let's invest in it. Let us all make bank. And that's just a little story that I heard about digital versus analog thievery. It's an art form. It's being lost right now. There's no more people doing it out there. Everybody's online doing shit. All the businesses, you gotta have an online aspect to it. I guess thievery, robbery, and heists are going online. So there's no excitement about it anymore. There's no more jumping up and down. There's no more gun wielding, unless you're sitting on a chair behind a laptop and just, it's like one of those fancy office chairs that lets you like spin, and you can spin and maybe shoot a couple of rounds into the ceiling that way. Maybe a little bit exciting, but not as exciting as somebody in an outfit and, a physical, tangible person right in front of you just running and jogging, just sprinting like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, which, by the way, I'm so hard for this movie right now. It's coming out May 23rd. I'm gonna, it's probably gonna be the movie that's gonna get me back to the movies. I've not been to the movies in some time, but fucking Mission Impossible is about to come out, and I am hard as a rock hard. God, I want to, Mission Impossible. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. So many stunts, so many jumps, so many jump sequences with grabbing things and throwing yourself off and then latching onto objects at high speeds and underwater, over water. Missions that are seemingly impossible, but somehow he pulls them off. God, I'm so excited. And then I've seen the trailer multiple times. Trust me one more time. Tom Cruise will follow me one more time, or trust me one more time. We just keep you going there and trust you a whole lot more times, because God damn, I love these movies. And please let it not be the last. I don't care what happens in the world. I don't care for much. But James Bond movies, Mission Impossible movies, the Bourne movies, these are some of the things that I deeply care about. Other stuff, I maybe a little bit of caring, but mostly I don't care. So whatever happens in Mission Impossible, I don't want it to end. Whatever we got to do to, I don't even know how we got here. This is just us talking about thievery and missions, I suppose. But nonetheless, whatever we got to do to keep Tom alive for as long as I'm alive, that's probably going to be like another 80 to 100 years. So whatever we need to do to keep TC alive, to keep doing, just keep him alive for as long, give him all the stuff, all the juices, all the, not too much of it. You don't want him to stay the way, and trust me one more time. Look, fuck, I'll trust you 10 more times, Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossible. I'm going to trust you 25 more times. God, these movies are so good. The trailers fucking got me hard, and it's just the trailer. I can't wait for the movie. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, that's just a little bit of analog shit versus digital shit. Trust me one last time. It's a fucking full trust, blind trust. I don't care. It's Mission Impossible movies. Take my money. Trust me one more time. Like, it's fucking sold from the first one, doggy. What are you talking about? Trust me one more time. Let's do 20 more. I can't. It's got to be 20 more. Nonetheless, let's not get ahead of ourselves. One mission at a time. One possibility at a time. God. What are you talking about, ladies and gentlemen? It's Friday and you're asking yourself 100 crackheads. If I were to have an option, gun to my head, katana to my nutsack, do I lick 100 crackheads or have intercourse with one? Which is the better option? Which is the wiser, which is the better decision to make? 100 crackheads, licking them, or intercourse with one of them? That is a beautiful question that is out there in the ether, and it's come to us, so we will try our best to answer it together. 100 crackheads being licked by you versus one interaction which entails intercourse, that's vag to peen, contact, and coming. 100 licks. Are they, we need to ask ourselves questions. Are these crackheads street crackheads, or do we bring them in and like shower them, clean them up, or is it just raw dog licky on the spot? 100 crackheads licky on the spot, shower versus no shower, because that does make a difference. Do they have any diseases? Are they, rabies, AIDS, hepatitis? Do they have the clap? What do they have any, or are they just crackheads on the, because that's fine if they're, because 100 licks, shower with a good shower, a nice bath, maybe a shave too, maybe a shave and a shower, shave shower, no disease. I will pick the lick 100 crackheads probably over the intercourse. Now, if it's raw dogging, I suppose if there's no shit shower shave, if it's just raw dog licky versus one intercourse, also licky sticky shower shit. Man, this one's a tough one as well. If they shit shower shaved, intercourse and no diseases, just crackhead. But then that's if you get 100 crackheads, it's a mixed bag. You never know what you're gonna get. They're all people. We're all good people. They're all good people inside. Everybody's, you never know. You never walked in a man's shoes, lady. Put on a pair of man's shoes, or vice versa. They say you can never. It's easier to say what it feels like to have those shoes on without trying them on. But once you fucking try them on and then walk around, try them on and walk around for it. So if you're a dude, and the crackhead lady is wearing heels, then try walking in her shoes. It's not probably like not your size. Probably like it's moist inside. She's probably bleeding. Her toes are bleeding. There's pus inside the shoes. It's not your size. Pus. The heel's kind of broken. There might be the bottom of the shoes probably held on by sharp objects like needles and pins and maybe loose nails that she's found on the ground. So it's probably going to puncture your feet. So it's good, but walk in a person's shoes, they say. Walk in a person's, but nonetheless, I will, man, if it's just raw dog intercourse, no shower shave, raw dog intercourse versus, I would think, I'm going to say, here's the thing. 100 licks versus one intercourse, I think it's a time thing. I think it's a time thing. Each individual lick, let's say we allocate 1 second to each individual person for a lick. On the forehead, on the nips, on the arm, on the armpit, doesn't matter. 100 licks, 1 lick per second. Just stab and go, just stab and go, just 1 lick, 2 lick, 3. That's yeah. It does probably take at least a second to have 1 lick. That's 1 second per lick. So 100 licks would probably equate to 100 seconds. That's a minute 40. That's almost 2 minutes of minute 40. Minute for 100 seconds, 100 licks versus intercourse with 1 person. It would, if you can do the math, if you can come under 100 seconds, then I would assume it's better to go with the, I think we just cracked it together, ladies and gentlemen. If you can come under a minute, or rather 100 seconds, it's better to go with the intercourse, because that's less time spent touching, making contact with the crackhead physically. That is, I could probably make myself come if I want. Yes, I could easily. Yes, of course I could come easily, and I could, if I put my mind to it, probably in a minute 70 seconds if I wanted to, if it was. But then again, under pressure, you never know. What if it's like, oh, now you gotta come fast, and it's like every day is no problem, but now that there is, now I gotta come fast, and you're never coming, and you end up making love to this crackhead for like 2 hours. But no, seriously, if I put my mind to it, I bet I could probably come in under 100 seconds. Thus, therefore, ergo, I'm going with 1 intercourse over 100. Like, there's 100 different ones, you never know. 50 of them might be clean, no AIDS, but 50 of them could have something. Who knows? But at least 1 intercourse with a condom, no kissing, I think is the safer bet. I probably could make myself come quicker. So there you go. We solved it together. But if you have a better idea, if you think the licks are better, by all means, do as you wish. But again, this is one of those life and death situations, as they often do arise in all of our lives. One of the regular moments of everyday life where you're faced with life and death situations. Gun to your head, katana to your nutsack, or your labia. Of course, if you're a lady and you have to choose, I would personally go with the 1 intercourse versus 100 licks. Thank you very much. And you make your own decisions, though. You think for yourself, make your own judgment, make up your own mind, and there are no right or wrong answers here, only life experiences. Ladies and gents, I'm reaching out to all of you. If you're listening, if you're paying attention, if we could all please come together and have a little moment where a specific group has been getting some negative attention for some time, and I would just like to, if we can together, and I'm just a little, just again, one guy, a tiny little podcast that could or should or would, just one guy. I know there are others out there too. These are important issues that I know you must think about as well. But together, I think if we just join our forces and efforts, we could probably make a difference. Shooting stars. You've heard of these so-called shooting stars. And to be honest with you, again, I've lived on this planet, this one, for 35 years. I've seen a few shooting stars in my life. Definitely heard of them in my lifetime. The times that I've heard of them, I've not actually heard any so-called sounds of shooting. The times that I've seen these shooting stars, I've actually not seen any stars carrying any weapons or going get. So I'm just a little confused. I'd like to get a little bit more clarity. Why do we call them shooting stars when, and I've thought about this because everybody calls them shooting. I'm like, okay, if everybody's doing it, there must be some, I know there must be others who must have thought of it as well, but I can't wrap my head around it because stars don't even have arms. So how could they be shooting if they don't have any arms to grab weaponry? Whether it be just a little pistol, whether it be like a little just little 32, little 36, little what about a little semi-automatic? But they don't have any arms though. Shooting stars are just giant rocks in space, and yet we're blaming them for so-called shootings. I'm just and I get it. I'm not trying to diminish the negative aspects of shooting stars. If there was any actual shooting going on, because if there are victims of these shooting stars, then I'd like to definitely see them and hear from them. But thus far, it's only been rumors, murmurs, and allegations and I'm just I'll let the public, we'll in hindsight, everything they say is 22. So maybe in time, they'll look back and look at us and say, remember the times when our ancestors used to look at stars and be like, look at those shooting stars. And they were never seen carrying a weapon. Yet all this time they got called shooting stars. I mean, is this us projecting? Would we like to see our stars shooting? Could we perhaps manifest this together by giving these stars artificial limbs, i.e. hands, so they too can carry weapons and guns, so they can actually become shooting stars? Is that what we're dreaming about? Is this the collective conscious coming together, uniting? Shooting stars. I'm a little bit confused. I like answers. I also feel like there's a whole negative connotation that comes with it. We've been labeling these stars as shooting. They've yet to cause any actual damage. Feels like a little bit of feels like a little bit of the old pulling the old wool over your eyes or whatever. So I'm curious. I want to get to the bottom of it. Unless I'm totally confused about this whole matter and shooting stars are actually not referencing guns or weapons. Maybe they are, once again, it would come down to, if we are to deduce and say, no, it's not about shooting weapons. It's perhaps about shooting film or shooting stars. Maybe they are shooting, maybe they're using cameras to shoot stuff, as the verbiage goes, as in making videos, making content, shooting. But then again, I'd say to myself, wait a minute. It still goes back to them not having any hands. How could they possibly be shooting videos without actually having hands to grab a device to shoot said videos? So still a little sus. Something don't smell right. Something's a little off. Or perhaps once again, it could be that no. We've been getting it wrong the entire time. It's about them shooting hoops. Maybe they're athletic shooting stars. But once again, it does bring attention to the fact that these stars do not have hands, which is required for you to be able to shoot the old three-pointer shot. So I'm just going to leave it for the public. If you have a logical explanation as to why we call these shooting stars, I'd like to hear from you in long format. Of course, this isn't the only thing that I've noticed that's out there that seems a little bit off. While we're on subjects that are a little bit off, I'd like to just bring this one up as well because it's kind of been weighing on me. It's keeping me up at nighttime. I don't know. I don't have a family. I would have already left them if I had one, because this thought alone just keeps me tossing and turning. Butterflies. Butterflies, ladies and gentlemen, butterflies, we call them. These little insects, these little bugs that are sometimes colorful, that have patterns on their wings. They fly. They're beautiful. Spring, summertime, you see them, and it's nice. But once again, I've paid close attention. I've examined butterflies from a distance. Of course, I can't get too close because they always fly away. Tricky little motherfuckers. But nonetheless, I paid attention and I looked as much as I can. And I noticed that these butterflies are actually neither made of butter, nor are they actually producing any butter. Yet, there's a whole industry of big butterfly that's telling us, no, 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 no. These insects are actually indeed making butter and are made of butter, and that's why we call them butterflies. I don't know how this sick game got started. I don't know who's behind it. I would assume it has something to do with big dairy, but also I'm also confused. So I don't know who's pulling the strings here, because these butterflies, I've tried grabbing them and rubbing them on a piece of toast and eating jelly with it, just a little bit, because butter and jelly on toast. It did not taste like butter. It kind of just made me cough. It gave me like a dry cough for like 20-30 minutes. I tried milking some of these butterflies. They're little tits. I grabbed little tiny tits off the butterfly's belly and I tried to milk them to see if they secrete any dairy products so that we could get butter from a no butter found, zero, but I'll go on the record. I don't care who's listening, zero butter found in these so-called butterflies. When I did grab the few that I did manage to grab, not slippery at all. Not slippery, not even a bit slippery. None. I tried using one to make masturbating a little bit easier. Did not make it easier. No butter. My cock covered in butterfly. My hand also covered in butterfly pieces. Zero butter. Tried cooking with it. Put a couple in the pan. Fried a little piece of chicken here and there. It just tasted horrible. No butter. So I don't know who's behind it. I don't know why we keep perpetuating these lies, but these so-called butterflies have zero connection to actual butter. I would assume that Big Butter is probably behind it as well. They are trying to just take your attention away from the actual butter itself and have you focus on butterflies, which are only in season maybe half the year if you're lucky. Once it gets cold, all of a sudden, all the butter dries up, all the butterflies dry up, and nothing to be seen here, folks. All smoke and mirrors. I like to get more clarity if we can together, but enough is enough. Butterflies. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, as we are moving forward with engaging with more technology day after day, it's becoming more and more part of our lives, which is beautiful. It's got its pros and cons, but I did hear a teacher recently went online and she was in the teaching for like 3 years and then she quit and then she went online and she said she's noticed something, and I wonder what that means for our future generations. She said the kids are not reading and writing and doing anything that consists of a little bit of critical thinking or showing interest of doing those sorts of activities. They're just saying, oh, the chat GPT and the AI can do it. I can do it on the computer faster, the chat GPT, why do I need to? So she quit because the kids are retarded now. Apparently, that's not her fault, not the kids' fault, not anyone's fault. Not pointing fingers to anybody, but that's one of the things that's coming up. Apparently, these kids are not reading, they're not writing, they're not doing that much math and science. Who knows what they're doing? But one thing that they are doing is Chromebooks. They're making Chromebooks, laptops. They're making laptops explode in the schools, that's something that's happening apparently online. They're grabbing their laptops, sticking them with pins, needles, maybe it's a pencil with a lead, and they're jabbing their USB ports, and they're making their laptops fry and explode essentially and burn, which is, again, it's not the kid's fault. It's not the teacher's fault. It's not anybody's fault at this point, but that's just where we are. We do gotta maybe somehow, but then again, I will, from their point of view, I'm trying to, see it from, if they can make a nice video of a laptop, really making a big, if it's a nice smoky video, I would assume it would go maybe viral and perhaps get likes and maybe a following. Maybe your kid could be, burnt laptop Jimmy, or Francis laptop burner exploder, Chromebook Casey, Chromebook fire, sets fire to the Chromebook Casey. That's maybe your kid could be, maybe he or she could get a little bit of a following, a little bit of momentum by making laptop. So I'll say this, it's a little bit of the, I don't know, it's a little bit, I don't have any children, of course, but there is something to be said with having, I don't know what it is. I don't know. I think it's just, laptops are expensive. I remember getting mine when I was in high school and doing the old college uni. It was expensive. So setting these things on fire is just, it's beyond me, because it would have, man, if I burned my laptop on purpose, I mean, I probably wouldn't have had one for a really long time to, consider it. So maybe perhaps it's a little bit of, let's send these kids to places, maybe just for like education, send these kids to countries where laptops don't get a chance to grow up properly, and you maybe you could show them images of like poor laptops, maybe laptops who are not doing well, and show them how lucky they are to be, working with all this. Because if a kid is just growing up with it, because a lot of the generations, up until now, we might have had a mixed bag of a little bit of, again, analog versus digital, but now these kids are being born right into all the tech. They don't know any better. They don't know pens, pencils, erasers, doing a few things with your head, struggling a little bit, fucking making a fool out of yourself, making a mistake, having to go back and redo it again. It's become much easier now, in a sense. I'm sure it's got its difficulties as well. Every generation comes and says, they have I'm sure they've got their issues as well. And we'll see more of it as they grow up and we grow together. But nonetheless, show them some laptops who are maybe impoverished laptops who are not doing so well. Maybe laptops who are in need of a well, who can't even get clean water. Maybe laptops without any shoes, just to make them appreciate, hey, these laptops don't grow on trees. They grow out of, manufacturing facilities far away, most of them far away. And just make them, appreciate that. I don't know how to do that. Again, I don't have any kids, but they're becoming less able to read and write, which again, I don't know. Again, do we care in a sense? Because at the end of the day, we are seemingly moving closer and closer to merging with tech. Do we need them to learn to read and write, or is everything gonna get like digital? So maybe just the same way as we looked at calculators and said, hey, do we really need to do all this long format math when a calculator can do it? Do they, are we gonna just be based on emojis and signage and stuff? Who knows what is happening to language generation by generation? Will it be maintained? Will it evolve to some sort of, again, these are all things that it's interesting stuff to think about. But what if these kids just talk in point form, and that's how the new generation just doesn't say any full sentences, doesn't know how to formulate a thought, it just says point form at best, and that's if you're lucky, though. Maybe you'll get a point form. Maybe you'll get 1-2 points, that's it. You just ask a question, just get one word. And who knows? Nonetheless, it's exciting to see them at least be okay with fire and smoke, which is nice, because there's a little bit, you got to take the positive too. They're not afraid of fire. They're not afraid of fire. These kids are not afraid of setting their expensive laptops on fire. Of course, a lot of this stuff does get promoted on, I guess social media. I guess they see somebody doing it and it gets, maybe becomes a challenge. Set your laptop on fire. Become the, the guy in class or gal in class who sets laptops on fire. I would say just, teach them about the value of a laptop by sending them to somewhere that, again, laptops are not doing well. Make them spend time with a family of laptops that is maybe living in small corridors and doesn't have enough to eat. Maybe send them to a laptop with like factory with like missing, a laptop village with all the keypads are missing, some letters. Maybe it's like half the letters are missing, and that could be like, a little devastating. I could maybe pull on their little mechanical heartstrings and maybe just nudge them a little bit towards humanity. And who knows, the merging of the tech, how much do we let kids use them? Because later tomorrow they'll be adults who are grown up in the world and they can't fucking interact with other people, it's a thing. It becomes a thing eventually. So it's good to think about these things. And this teacher is, you know what, she's pretty hot. So I'm gonna assume she's gonna start a business if she's not already started one. And maybe she's probably on OnlyFans by now. She's probably on OnlyFans realizing that it's much better to just show a little cooch while you got it. And I'm not saying she did, but I'm saying she might have contemplated, as many of us have. But half of us don't have the vaginal openings that generate that kind of, maybe she probably is. I don't know, allegedly she should. She was pretty hot. From what I remember, it was a short video. I can't remember like the whole context of the video or how she would, overall, relatively speaking, hot. So it's like, if you're hot, why become a teacher? That is also, and besides, they can do homeschooling with robots and AI. Probably it's a whole lot of things are changing. Schooling in and of itself is becoming very questionable as we move forward. Everybody's got access to information these days. You really don't need, school is, again, I don't have any kids. I'm not invested in this, but if I give a little bit of thought to it, maybe small community, throw a couple of laptops in there, send them outside. They'll learn, they'll grow. Jobs we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out one step at a time. But again, send these kids to see some impoverished laptops, maybe laptops with AIDS. Maybe that way they can appreciate their non-AIDS laptops, or give one of their laptops AIDS and see how they react. So there you go. Or replace their laptops with like a wild raccoon from a trash can and be like, see, this is the type of laptop the kids get from the other side of the track, and the raccoon bites your kid a few times, so that way, your kid appreciates good stuff. That's just letting you know ways you can teach your kids about using technology wisely or something. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing it together. I'll say this, it's a lot is happening. It's exciting. I'm also excited to see what this new generation comes up with. There's so many things they're probably going to be good at. So many things. Vaginal strength versus cock strength. Of course, as and by the way, speaking of vaginal strength, I should say this, a lot does come up that I'd like to discuss a lot of times, and it's, but sometimes important stuff I don't want to forget to wish everybody out there, if you're a female with a biological vagina, happy Mother's Day. I forgot to say it last week, or even to my own mother, of course I did, but I wanted to just say, if you're a beautiful lady, which all ladies are, if you're a lady or you're a mother or your grandmother, happy Mother's Day. Happy beautiful Mother's Day to all the mothers out there who are probably mothers are the better of humanity. That's the truth right there. Mothers are probably, in terms of overall groups of people, if you're to categorize people in groups, mothers and grandmothers are probably the best of humanity. And again, there's varying degrees in every group, but if we were to say which groups, mothers and grandmothers probably the best. They're like little fucking, mothers and grandmothers, they're little angels. Little babies as well. And then daughters are fine, but then boys and men are less, it's mothers, grandmothers, top tier, babies too. Babies don't do anything, so babies don't count. In terms of functioning adults, mothers, grandmothers, top tier human. In terms of just overall goodness, if we could all aspire to be more motherly, or, fathers are good too, don't get me wrong, but this past week was theirs. So happy Mother's Day. If you are using your body to give birth, like vaginally speaking, that is, and milking, just giving raw titty milk to babies. So that's congratulations and thank you for producing all of us for most of the production value. You get most of the production value. Definitely not a 50-50, more like a 99-1 in terms of, but those are mothers and grandmothers. And grandmothers, those are mothers with long tits. Or you could just call them that, long tits over there. But nonetheless, happy Mother's Day. What were we even talking about? That's right. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The vaginal strength versus cock strength. Now, because we are familiar with the birthing process, we know vaginas, our pussies are extremely powerful objects, utility objects, some might say. They're extremely powerful, but could cocks be as powerful, or at least come close to it? We should put it to the test. Maybe I put it to the test. Maybe you out there put it to the test. Could a cock potentially be used to lift a heavy truck off of somebody who's got stuck under a heavy truck? I recommend you go out there and test it. I tested it myself. Somebody may or may not have been stuck under a truck, and I tried to pull the truck using nothing but my wedge jerk. You got to get hard first. You got to get, which is difficult. And again, when it comes to pressure, when it's pressure time, you got to get hard. But if you do get hard enough, and it's just physics, really, it's not even about strength. It's mostly about lowering your center of gravity, lodging your hard dick underneath the tire, using it as a pivot point and lifting the truck. Again, it's mostly physics. It's very much like baseball. It's not how hard you hit the ball. It's rather the timing and the angle. Again, it's basic physics, but it is powerful. Put it to the test if you don't believe me, of course. You could use it to lift heavy objects. You could definitely use, I'm telling you right now, I've seen a lot of people in construction. I've seen a lot of people just in bodybuilding. I've seen a lot of people just out there in life carrying stuff with their arms and legs. The penis is one of the strongest muscles out there. Not as strong as, of course, the vagina, but often strong enough. If you got grocery bags, I'm telling you right now, quit carrying it around with your hands, fellas. Tie your cock around your grocery bag and hands-free grocery shopping. That's this 2025. We're not savages. Instead of using your hands, have your devices in your hands. Tie your grocery bag to your, it might now slide to the side, like it might hit your thighs a little bit, but that's the price of hands-free. And it can probably carry at least 25 to 50 pounds. I'm gonna say at least 100 pounds. Do I know the exact weight that it's required to rip off a whole penis? No, I don't. Could you rip it off with 100 pounds? Maybe if 100 pounds were attached to your cock and immediately, just like kind of jerk and then like go in the opposite direction of your body, maybe then 100 pounds would be sufficient to rip off your cock. But I think you could probably go up higher. I think you could probably, you should probably be able to, I'm gonna eyeball this and say you should probably be able to carry your own body weight on your cock. That's how strong cocks are. Yeah, a lot of times vaginas get the whole full human came out of this. It's manufactured to carry light bulbs. Of course it can carry human baby, which is like the smallest forms of humans. I mean, that's nothing. The smallest forms of humans, I mean, come at me when you can give birth to a full grown person. That way, I'll be like, that's a really strong, I mean, all of them are strong, but this one, it's a 200-pound baby or a man in there. That's something, that's strength. Baby's like, whatever, 10 pounds, like, okay, whatever. I guess we're all special now. But nonetheless, fellas, your cock also has it's got nice inertia. Use it to grab if you're the woodsman, if you are a lumberjack, oftentimes people use their hands to grab the old axe and hit the old block of wood and crack it in half. Wrap your cock around the handle of the axe and whip it using nothing but your core strength. Exercise it. What else could you do with it? A lot of times I do see people like loading and unloading trucks. People use their knees, their backs, their hands to grab items. Let's say you're in a moving truck, moving objects with your hands. Oftentimes people will finish a day's worth of work and come back and be like, oh, my neck, my back. I wish there was a way to avoid all of this. There is. Simply attach all the objects to your penis using nothing but a meat hook and swing the objects in and out of the truck. You'll be surprised as to how fast you move the items from the truck to the new place you moved into or helped your friends move into. So there's plenty that the cock could do, but again, it's just been, I believe it's a lack of education and mostly focusing on the strength of the vagina, which is quite incredible. Again, smallest sized humans. So I guess everybody's getting a ribbon today. But just wanted to put that out there. The cock too has a lot of strengths. So please use it wisely. Do not just write it off as just the old cock. Can't lift anything heavy. It can. It definitely can. Many of you out there got to thinking and you came up with the thought of, why is it that women's feet are so adorable and beautiful and sexy and hot, but men's feet are gross? And I thought about that too, like you out there. So we might be just syncing up right now, or our minds might be just syncing up right now. Thank you for coming up with that. But I've thought about it as well. Why are men's feet so gross while women's feet are fucking adorable? I mean, women's feet, you can eat them. You can lick them. Now you could lick a whole woman's foot. Most women, even a woman who doesn't even take care of it, the foot of a woman is nice. I don't know why. It's just better. It's just better. I guess maybe some of it has to do with the nail polish that they put on their toenails. Maybe that's got a little something to do with it. It's less hair, I'll say that. Just overall, women are less hairier than men, which makes it, definitely more appealing. But I don't know what it is. Women's feet are adorable. They're beautiful. You could rest on if I'm on a plane, if a woman with a nice feet were just, in the back seat, if she was just like shoes off, socks off, slide her, I got the window seat. If she were to just slide her foot right underneath my neck, I could imagine myself. As a matter of fact, next time I'm on a plane, I'm gonna ask the lady if she's behind me, just slide your foot over. Like, I could probably sleep on that. I feel comfortable, but that's fine. I could sleep a few hours comfortable. I'll grab it forget neck pillows when you're on a plane. Get a lady to put her feet on your shoulder and rest on that. I will, if I need a little bit of a, just a little pick me up here, and just women's foot, just, hand grabbing the foot, just looking at it. They're beautiful toes. It's nice. I don't know, something about women's feet. It's beautiful. But men's feet, gross, disgusting. Get it away from. I would not want to be. If there's a man sitting behind me, I want you to dislocate your legs. Your torso. Dislocate your torso from your hips and just push your legs as far back away from me as possible. You disgusting man toes. Why? Because there's the same thing. I thought of it as the same thing, but women's feet. Extremely excited. I would take, if I were to just be eating a sandwich, just eating a sub, and I wasn't paying attention, somebody were to just remove the substance that's, if it's a meatball sandwich, remove the meatballs from the sandwich, slide in a pair of women's feet, and I were to just take a bite and not be able to chew through, but look, first, it's women's feet, not a big deal, this is actually kind of cool. But if the same thing were to happen and then somebody replaced those meatballs with men, I would probably throw up, which would induce a big turn on for whoever's available within the vicinity, because everybody loves throwing up. But nonetheless, why are men's feet gross? Women's feet, for the most part, beautiful, sexy even, and hot. I would assume, again, it comes down to different, probably hair has probably a lot to do with men. Even the cleanest of, it's just men's feet are gross. That's so. Is it a size thing? But then we do like women's feet. We find that adorable and cute and sexy. So, and then it's just feet. And if you like feet, then shouldn't you like more of it then? But then there's something like more, less of it is better. Because I guess there's a little bit of a, I don't know what, call me a footist. I'm a footist, I guess, in terms of I don't like large feet. For men's large feet, gross. Women's adequately sized feet, like to proportional to their body, yes, good, beautiful. But then again, you're like, if you like feet, you should like more of it. Don't somehow, you just don't. And I don't know what I don't know what the science behind it is, but that's just what I've discovered. As much as I like women's feet, could care less. I don't want to see men's feet. It's disgusting. Women's foot, I will shower with it. I'll put just a foot, just rub the foot all around myself, just on my body, whatever, I don't care. Have a woman's foot, on your back, cool, nice. Use women's feet to just do typing. Instead of using my hand to grab a pen to write, maybe grab a woman's foot, put the pen between her toes, and it'd be much better. Would I like the same thing if it were a man's foot? It'd be disgusting if it were a man's foot. If a man's foot were to grab my pen and I had to grab that giant foot and it would make me once again throw up, which ironically is a huge turn on for everybody. So just a little bit confused in terms of why women's feet are hotter, but men's feet are not. I guess it's size. I think it's size, which again, doesn't make sense, but it's just one of those things. It's just the way it is. We can't explain everything. We'll try together, but we can't explain it. For some reason, men's gross. Put it away. Don't want to see any of it. Because I know spring, summertime, there's going to be people wearing flip-flops and shit. Don't want to see it. Thank you. Fuck the elderly, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck the elderly. It's a company that I'm trying to get going with your help, of course. Fuck the elderly. I think it's going to be it's more of a service. It's more of a give back to the people who've always given to us, our elderly. Fuck the Elderly is a company that focuses on sending professional prostitutes over to old folks' homes so that they can fuck the elderly. Because oftentimes you do hear the elderly do make sure that they hook up in the old folks' home, in the retirement centers, and the old age care facility, whatever you call them, whatever retirement, so who cares what you call it, doesn't matter. The place where you send old folks to, that place. Oftentimes they might even hook up with each other, but sometimes they end up hooking up and breaking bones, falling, breaking hips, backs, getting their hips replaced, all that, because they had to do most of the work. Why not? I thought to myself, the elderly to enjoy the sexual activities. Why not send young prostitutes to them, have them get fucked properly the way they deserve, and then in and out. If you care about your elderly and they happen to be in a facility of sorts, sign them up for the Fuck the Elderly package so that they can have a relatively younger prostitute go to them and just rub their nice vagina or cock in their face right there. There's your grandpa, beautiful, 20, 30-year-old vagina or cock in his or her face right there. How satisfying is that? Didn't they do some major shit in their lifetime that benefited you? Time to give back. Fuck the elderly. Stop thinking about yourself and, I wonder how my day is going to be. I wonder what I'm going to do on the weekend. It's going to be a small little service that you can subscribe to. It's called Fuck the Elderly. And again, professionals, prostitutes who don't mind milking your grandpa or your grandma, maybe at the same time together. They could be both at the same retirement home, but I bet they don't mind a younger person getting in there and spicing things up a little bit for them. So think about your elderly and your grandparents by saying, you know what? Yes, fuck the elderly. Ladies and gentlemen, this would break my heart if we don't pull it off together, but we're gonna have to reach deep down inside, and I don't know how, but we got to do it. Because I've recently heard, as I've been paying attention, because I like to pay attention to as many things as possible, and sometimes outer space and the NASA's and the moon and I'm excited about all of it. I want to, because we're explorers deep down inside, you and I, all of us, the human species, a bunch of explorers moving around from one place to another, discovering new things. And the next frontier, they say, is space. China and Russia have teamed up to build a power plant on the moon by 2036. I don't know, I read these things, I don't know how, because I've heard a lot of timelines. Growing up, I heard a lot of timelines. I'm still hearing a lot of timelines. When we're gonna go to the moon, or we're gonna go to Mars. Let's start with the moon. Only roughly 380,000 kilometers away. That is not too far. But apparently China and Russia have teamed up and they're building this power plant. I don't know what kind of power plant it's gonna be. Is it like why would you build a giant gym on the moon? What kind of power is it? Is it powerlifting plant? Is it just a bunch of jacked Russians and then big Chinese people? It's a power plant. That concentrates on nothing but power, and they want to do by 2036. And I read that. I'm like, oh, as much as we got one Earth and we all got to like share it, and like, you know, there's plenty for everyone to go around. There's plenty outside as well to go around, but also who owns it and who gets it? Because like if they get a power plant earlier than we do, and then we go there and then we want to build our power plant. And there's already a bunch of dudes like working out with like heavy weights, and it's like less oxygen. So, and I've been to many gyms where some of them were in basements and they didn't have adequate air conditioning either. They put it was in the basement, large industrial fan right next to the water, and you go get water, and then you're sweating from your workout, and then you go home and you're all cramped up because the giant industrial fan was just blowing everybody's sweat in each other's nostrils, and also it's making you uncomfortable right by the water station. But that's aside the point. This is about a power plant that's going on the moon. So I don't know what kind of power plant it's going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be a powerlifting power plant, or like people who could lift objects above their head, extremely powerful people. It's a power plant. Or maybe it's a plant that we've not known of. It's like really strong, even though it's vegetation. It's a power plant. Maybe it's like one of those man-eating plants. Maybe it's like one of those carnivore plants that eats men and women, just meat, and it's a power plant. It's just maybe it's underground in some sort of Russian or Chinese lab that they're developing these power plants, and they want to put them on the moon. By 2036, I don't know, it could be nuclear, it could be other things as well. It could be just a bunch of Russians and Chinese people on the moon playing tug of war, just building giant forearms through their power plants. But nonetheless, we got to get there as well. So I encourage everybody out there to somehow get us moving further, especially NASA, if you're listening. Other people who NASA wouldn't directly be listening, but if you got like a cousin of a cousin of a friend, maybe tell, why don't we go there already? Why? It's just right there, 380,000 kilometers. It literally just seems like a long road trip. Let's go there, build our power plants, put a couple more flags down, put people there, adequately extract the resources and distribute whatever resources the moon might have. Which I'm sure it probably has a lot. Sure, it has a lot of stuff that we're going to find useful. And even if there's nothing on the planet or the moon rather, we got to get a base there. We got to get a base on the moon. It's just right there. It's 380,000 kilometers. It's a car trip. It's a road trip basically. Moon base. I'm advocating for a moon base by North America, by the United States and Canada. Maybe just Western Hemisphere can get it. We got to get there is what I'm trying to say, because who knows what will happen. Because if you are, as much as we, because you never know. It's just nice to know that, everybody, you can't have just two giant superpowers in the world. We got to get there too. And I knew, who knows what has happened in the past. It's murky. It's fuzzy. Did we go there? Did people go there? Did we not go there? Debatable. Why have we not gone back? Also debatable. I don't know much about it, but like if there's going to be a power plant, now they do say there's not going to be any people on it. It's just going to be a power plant. Rather, not going to be using any people to build this power plant. It's just going to be robots and AI, I guess, going up there and setting up shop. But nonetheless, let's put one North American, United States, Canadian power plants, or just moon base. I like the name of the moon base better. Let's put a moon base, if it's not already there. That's another fucking, what if we already do have moon base? Who knows? Let's just get more people there with good HD video and see what the fuck is going, because 380,000, it's not too far. If we wanted to do it, if we've done it before, we should be able to do it again, right? If we've done it before, you don't lose that kind of info. You don't lose, we're gonna make a dedicated shit ton of money and a nice program, get to them and somehow lose the tech or lose the methods of getting there and back to the, it's not your car key. You can't just look. But nonetheless, it doesn't even matter. Nonetheless, we should get there, put people there, start making babies on the moon, or cyborg babies by then. Nonetheless, it's happening by 2036. But again, these timelines and deadlines, I've heard them since I was a teenager, and they keep getting pushed back. So it might just be, who knows what it could be. But nonetheless, we need that moon base. So let that be that, and think about all the resorts are nice to be made in the Middle East. So yes, resorts are great to be made in the Middle East. All that, yes. The relations tight, good, super good, nice, everything. But also resorts on the moon, titties on a man-made beach on the moon, nude beach on the moon. It's what we need for more babies, essentially, for us to procreate more and populate other planets, so we become multi-planetary. Until next time, gold bars and extremely expensive jewelry for everybody. Get out of here. Peace out.